Rookie of the Year, Outstanding Wrestler, Dual Meet of the Season, and more. These are the awards that we're giving out on the Fanco Wrestling Awards Show. Who will win? Well, let's stop stalling and start talking wrestling. What's going on, wrestling fans? My name's Josiah, and welcome to Fanco Wrestling. And this is the Fanco Wrestling Awards Show, which culminates the entire 2019-2020 season. And we have so many awards to give away. Now, before we get into the awards, I want to say that you voted on these awards, not me. This has none of my bias in it. It's just what you wrestling fans think should be the winner in every single category. Now, we had a many nominees in every category, but these nominees that you'll see in this video are the top 4 or 5 in every single category. So these are the top 4 or 5 voted on, and then we will get to every single winner. Now let's get into the first category, which is Rookie of the Year. Now, of course, this award is given out to the freshmen, the standout freshmen from this season, and oh my goodness, there were so many this year. First of all, your nominees are Aaron Brooks of Penn State, Shane Griffith of Stanford, Anthony Cassiope of Iowa, Sammy Sasso of Ohio State, and David Carr of Iowa State. And your winner is Sammy Sasso. Sammy Sasso had an impressive year and a standout season as just a freshman. He battled back and forth with Pat Lugo the entire year, and although he did not end up beating him at the Big Ten Championships, things could have been different at Nationals, and it was an impressive year for the freshman. Now, in these other categories, yes, you did have a Shane Griffith who was undefeated, and a couple of honorable mentions in Real Woods, also of Stanford, Sammy Alvarez, and Trent Hidley. So many tough guys this year. Next up on the list, the Breakthrough Wrestler Award. This award is given to a wrestler who seemingly came out of nowhere from last season to this season and really made a name for himself this year. Your nominees for this category are Quincy Monday, Marcus Hartman, who went from unranked to number 8 in the country, Brandon Courtney of Arizona State, who went from number 23 to number 7 in the country, Noah Adams, who went from number 19 in the country to number 2 in the country from West Virginia. And your winner in this category is Noah Adams, the wrestler at 197 pounds for the West Virginia Mountaineers. He had an impressive season starting out. I mean, he really made a name for himself at the Southern Scuffle this year. He pinned Nathan Traxler and ended up winning a Southern Scuffle title. He then went on later that year to pin Dakota Gear and just had a great season. There were obviously so many breakout wrestlers this season, especially being an Olympic redshirt year. I mean, there are just guys that nobody saw coming from the beginning of the year, and they made a name for themselves for the years to come. And your next category is Match of the Year. Now, of course, this category is broken up into 2 parts, the match of the regular season and the match of the conference or postseason. Of course, it was supposed to be the postseason, but we didn't get the national championships. Now, these are your nominees. Michael Kemmer beating Mark Hall. Vincenzo Joseph beating Alex Marinelli in the dual meet. What a dual meet that was with those 2 first nominees. Seth Gross beating Austin DeSanto at the Midlands Championships. Nick Lee beating Luke Pletcher in an upset victory in the Penn State and Ohio State match. And Sammy Sasso beating Pat Lugo in the dual meet by way of sudden victory. I mean, these matches were thrilling. I mean, my favorite may have been different than the winner, but the winner of this category is Michael Kemmer beating Mark Hall. And what a match that was for Michael Kemmer. I shouldn't say nobody, but not a lot of people saw Kemmer coming up and beating Mark Hall, especially bumping up from 157 just a couple seasons ago. And now he was a massive 174-pounder, and nobody denied him after that first match because he looked phenomenal, just scoring takedown after takedown after takedown. And that moves us on into the next category, Match of the Year at the Conference Championships. And of course, this goes across all Conference Championships, but these were the matches that stood out to you. And your nominees are Sebastian Rivera beating Seth Gross 7-6. in the semifinals. Sebastian Rivera beating Roman Bravo Young 7-2 in the Big Ten Finals. Luke Pletcher beating Nick Lee for a revenge match in the Big Ten Finals. And Alex Marinelli defeating Vincenzo Joseph in the finals in a thrilling match in one of the biggest rivalries in college wrestling this year. A couple of other honorable mentions that came in just below this, not quite in the top 4, but Mark Hall going up against Michael Kemmerer. Of course, just being that last category, this was another revenge match. And Gable Stevenson versus Mason Paris lived up to the hype. Now, your winner in this category is Alex Marinelli versus Vincenzo Joseph. These two never disappoint. And of course, this was the same thing that happened in the Big Ten Championships. This was a close victory for Marinelli and Joseph as far as you voting. It was a 25% of you voted on Marinelli going up against Vincenzo Joseph as one of your favorite matches. Now, the next category is upset of the year. Who had the biggest upset of the year this season? Now, this goes the entire season straight into conference, so it can be anybody. And your nominees are number 15, Jacob Camacho beating number 2, Jack Mueller in the ACC Championships. Number 21, Brent Moore pinning number 6, Sammy Sasso early on season in a major upset. Number 2, Michael Kemmerer defeating number 1, Mark Hall, which was a close upset, but still an upset nonetheless. Number 15, Kennedy Monday of UNC Tech falling number 3, David McFadden of Virginia Tech. And your winner of this award is, by way of 22%, Jacob Camacho defeating Jack Mueller. Of course, Jack Mueller was undefeated on the season up to this point, and last year he was even undefeated going into the NCAA finals. So Jacob Camacho coming out a young guy beating Jack Mueller. Let's go to his feelings on that.
When we go out there, it's just payday. It's time to go out there and show what we've been working for the entire year. It boils down to belief and trust. I trust the program. They've got my back. I've got their back. I told myself, I told them, I said, listen, I believe in myself. You guys believe in me. Let's go have some fun. And that's what I like to do when I wrestle. I want to go out there. I want to score points. I just want to wrestle. I only get 4 years at this, and I'm going to make every single one of them count.
And now that we're back, let's talk about the pin of the year. Which wrestler had the most exciting pin of the entire season? Now, of course, this can be based on however you want it to be based. It could be based on whether it had to deal with the dual meet in points scored in the team race, whether it had to just deal with a big upset. But your nominees are Mason Paris pinning Anthony Cassiope in 4 minutes and 31 seconds. Aaron Brooks of Penn State pinning Taylor Vance in the Big Ten semifinals. Mark Hall pinning Mikey Labriola in a big Big Ten matchup in the last seconds of the dual meet. Brent Moore pinning Sammy Sasso at the beginning of the season, which was a major upset in the first period. And of course, the last guy here is Pat Lugo pinning Beulah Wellen in the first period, 2 minutes and 22 seconds. And your winner for pin of the year is Brent Moore pinning Sammy Sasso. This was a big win. 33% of you voted on this match to win, and I have to agree. I mean, this was a match that nobody saw. Although these were 2 freshmen going out there, Sammy Sasso was one of the top guys in the country, and Brent Moore came out here and stuck him in the first period. What a pin. Next up is Best Dual Meet of the regular season, and these are your nominees. Arizona State beating Penn State 19-18. What a match that was, ending their 60-match win streak reign. Nebraska beating Ohio State 19-14. Nebraska really stepping up into the scene this year. Iowa beating Penn State 19-17. I mean, this was a thriller from bottom to top, from 125 to heavyweight. Every single match was exciting. Next up, Virginia Tech beating Ohio State 21-15. This was an upset nobody really saw happening, but they pulled it off, even with David McFadden losing in that duel. And then lastly, your nominee is NC State beating Virginia Tech. And NC State and Virginia Tech, NC State and UNC, I mean, the ACC just had so many exciting dual meets this year. But your winner in this category, it's got to be, by way of what you voted, 72% of you, Iowa versus Penn State. Like I said, this is a match that was great from bottom to top. I mean, maybe not 125 because Spencer Lee is just a beast, an animal, but every other weight. You had upsets coming out of nowhere. Nobody expected this match to be close, but guess what? It was close because these are two of the top teams in the entire country, so that kind of makes sense. Now, on to Best Scramble of the Year. I asked you for a couple categories in the Fanco Wrestling Awards. I said, which categories would you like to see added to this list? And Best Scramble was by far and away the most asked for category. And the winner of this award is Rowan Bravo Young, going up against Sammy Alvarez at the Big Ten Championships. This was in the quarterfinals match. It was a 4-2 match going into the last 20 seconds of it. Rowan Bravo Young was up, and oh my goodness, if you haven't seen this scramble yet, you got to see this. This was unreal. With less than 20 seconds left, Rowan Bravo Young is just running around, just trying to move on, just trying to win in advance. Alvarez shoots, then somehow RBY scrambles out of that, shoots in on him. Alvarez somehow gets in on Rowan Bravo Young's legs. He takes him down, almost has Rowan Bravo Young down, but Rowan Bravo Young was able to scramble out of it. Oh my goodness, there was no two given, there was no stalling or anything, but Rowan Bravo Young ended up advancing. Craziest scramble that I've seen all year. And your next award is the Anticipation Award. The Anticipation Award is given out to the wrestlers who you're watching and you're just waiting on something to happen. You're just waiting on that shot. You're waiting on that throw. And there's nobody else to give it to except for Vincenzo Joseph and Alex Marinelli. Oh my gosh. Every time that these two wrestle, they're going upper body and they're going overs, unders, and you're just waiting on somebody to get tossed, somebody to get lat drops. I mean, something is going to happen every time that these two wrestle, and it sure did at the Big Ten Championships. If you haven't seen this exchange where they're just going back and forth, and you're just waiting in anticipation for somebody to get tossed. And it didn't end up happening in that match, but it has happened in former matches. Now, of course, that moves us on to the best throw of the year. And it's got to go out to Vincenzo Joseph on Alex Marinelli in the Iowa versus Penn State duel. This was the throw of the year just because, like I said, you're always anticipating this to happen as a wrestling fan, as Iowa or Penn State fan. You're waiting on something to happen. And the duel meet, it was Vincenzo Joseph who got the throw this time. It was a big move, helped for the team points in the duel, although, not overall with the loss that Penn State had, but it was big for the team and big for morale. Next up, your next category is the New Jersey Award. The New Jersey Award is given out to the wrestler who just embodies New Jersey, and is just excited about the state. And is there anybody else to give this to than Sebastian Rivera? Watch his interview right after he won the Big Ten Championships.
I just want to say, New Jersey! Come on, look at this place. Who doesn't want to win in Jersey? Come on, look at this every time. It's just Jersey, man. We're a different breed. Always will be. TRNJ all day, baby.
I mean, that is just hilarious watching that. I'm surprised that he talked about New Jersey that much, considering he goes to Northwestern and not Rutgers. But I guess because the Big Ten Championships were in New Jersey, he was excited to be back home. And although that may have been surprising, it wasn't the most surprising moment of the season. 2019-2020 season was absolutely absurd and filled with so many crazy things that happened throughout the entire year. I mean, starting off at the beginning of the year with your nominee, Arizona State snapping Penn State's win streak, which was big, 60-match win streak, and nobody saw that coming. Next up as your nominee is Zahid Valencia, connected to Arizona State. Obviously, the 184-pounder was suspended just before the post-conference. Not that it necessarily mattered anyways. And then the last nominee is the NCAA Wrestling Championships being flat out canceled and wrestlers not being given eligibility for an extra season. And your winner in one of the closest awards out of any of these categories is the NCAA Wrestling Championships being canceled. And the fact that this won, whenever you have a team in Penn State who has just won the last, 8 out of 9 or 9 out of 10 NCAA championships, and the fact that they won, or that wasn't even the category that won here, the nominee that won here, just shows how absurd this year was. This year was nuts. Now, let's get on to the next topic, which is the Outstanding Wrestler. The Outstanding Wrestler Award is given out to a wrestler who, one, ended the season undefeated, or two, was a top 3 seeded conference champion who avenged an earlier loss. And this category is loaded from top to bottom. These were all of your nominees. I felt that it deserved to be put out there that these were all your nominees on this list. So many impressive guys from top to bottom. But I don't think that any of you will be surprised to find out the winner here in this category is Spencer Lee. Spencer Lee, what a wrestler. At 125 pounds, 18-0 on the season with an 89% bonus point percentage. He is the tech fall king. Spencer Lee, the tech fall king, just goes out there, gets the job done, and always has an impressive national tournament. Wish we could have seen it this year, but congratulations, Hodge Trophy winner and outstanding wrestler, Spencer Lee. And the next category is Coach of the Year. The Coach of the Year award is given to the coach who had the most impressive season as a coach. This is given to a coach who exceeded expectations, outperformed other teams, won big dual meets or tournaments, and or exemplified what it truly means to be a coach. So this was however you wanted to interpret the best coach of the year. And your nominees in this category are Tom Brands, Iowa head coach; Kale Sanderson, the Penn State head coach; Kerry Colat, the Campbell Wrestling head coach; and Pat Popolizio, the NC State head wrestling coach. And your winner in this category is Tom Brands. Tom Brands, what a season he's had with the Iowa Hawkeyes. So many guys ranked number 1, 2, 3. I mean, all these guys ranked in the top 10 in their weight classes. But as a team, an undefeated 13-0 record, beating Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State, Oklahoma State, all teams that they have lost to previously in previous years, and they avenged all of those losses, went on the revenge tour. It would have been great to see what happened at the national championships. Wish we could have seen what happened. Unfortunately, we were not able to see what happened, but that is what happened with Tom Brands. And wrestling fans, that's going to do it for the Fanco Wrestling Awards. Thank you for tuning into the award show, and that's going to do it for the end of the Fanco Wrestling season. And until next time, guys, I'll see you soon.